So this video might take the whole 10 minutes. It might not. If you're gonna watch, stick around. I'm gonna give like my full in-depth story, but I'm gonna compress it and try and do it in less than 10 minutes. So I was born in Red Point. I have one older sibling, and then my father would adopt another sibling and he would live with us. It was never official, but he was with us for like 6 or 8 years. I refer to him as my stepbrother, but Dad brought him in. He was between me and my brother. He was a couple years younger than my brother and a couple years older than me. But I was born in Red Point, lived with my mom and dad, my grandmother, my brother. First time I smoked cigarettes, I was 7. First time I smoked marijuana, I was 11. The first time that I tried a prescription pain pill or narcotics, I think it was Percocets, and I was like 13 or 14. Around 16 years of age, I was consumed in a weekly habit, I guess, maybe a little bit more. My mom was an alcoholic growing up. She drank pretty heavily my entire life until I was 15, and that's when she decided to get sober. My brother told her that she wouldn't be welcome in the hospital when his third child was being born, and she put down the bottle. That's all it took, you know. She wanted to see that baby. But she didn't go sober. She just traded drinking for drugging, because mom and dad would stopping at the liquor store, and instead they would go to the pharmacy after the doctor's visit. Not a whole lot of difference there. We're still, dumping a substance down our throat, putting it into our body. We've still got an altered mind state, and even this gives you an altered mind state. Caffeine, sugar, it all changes our perspective of things. You can wake up in the morning and be grumpy. Grab that cup of coffee, you happy as can be. So, mom and dad both quit drinking around 2013, and it changes from a drinking household to a drugging household. My brother was, in 2003, he was 21. So he was old enough to go to the liquor store by himself. The party really ramped up, became crazy. My cousins would come down and party at the house. My brother's friends would come down and party at the house. My parents allowed it all with the argument that they were supervising. But they weren't supervising anything because they were drunk in the living room. But it was a big, wide open free-for-all for most of my childhood. And my brother started his family really, really early in age, and played house. I continue to say that. I know it upsets him and others, but that's all he was doing, and that's all I was doing. And I say it in that manner because I followed in his footsteps, and I played house as well. Played house with my girlfriend, conceived a child. That child is 11 now, getting ready to be 12. Conceived and born in the addiction, and lived with my ex in her addiction for a couple years. My ex lived in the woods with that girl in tents, at every Tom, Dick, and Harry's house that she was staying at because she was blowing them for drug money or whatever she was doing. Just nasty, trifling stuff. And I was just as bad. So I don't want to just point the finger at her because I was just as fucked up. I slept with every one of her friends, family members, it didn't matter. There was no morals in our relationship. There was no ethics in our relationship. And that's where it really spiraled out of control. Mom and dad quit drinking, started going to the doctor and getting a big dumb pain pill script. And what happened was when my dad and mom stopped drinking, my dad ended up with a whole bunch of health problems. Go figure. What happens to every other old drunk when they sober up? They start getting sick and having health problems. The only thing was he was so used to self-medicating that he never went to the doctor to get it fixed until it was too late and everything was way out of whack. And then they were just handing him drugs to maintenance him and keep him happy, I guess. But him and Mom both go to the doctor, both end up with a script. His health goes way downhill. We had a family business, Constantine Concrete. We were a subcontractor off of a local wall contractor based out of Delaware. And, you know, we worked 6 days a week every day. You know, basement, garage, porch, sidewalk, public walk, new development work. Built a lot of the developments in Delaware with my dad and other people after I left. And, you know, yesterday I was working in Delaware, working on a new construction house. So I still do it from time to time. But so, yeah, we had the family business was the concrete company, me, my brother, my stepbrother, my dad, and usually one or two hired hands. That's where I learned my trade. That's where I picked everything up that I know. All the different trades that I know, I found all of them in that new construction world. But then Dad got sick, and in 2007, the business closed. 2006 maybe, end of 2006, beginning of 2007, the business would close. And we would officially go from a family of concrete finishers to a family of drug dealers. My father would be the first one to acquire the prescription for the pain medicine. My brother would originally start trying to be the supplier, the dealer. And he would try and push them through friends that he had, but he wasn't tied into that scene like I was. He only knew a couple people, and those couple people weren't good with money. So that went on for like 6 or 8 months. 2 or 3 different people tried, and nobody could do it. They never brought back enough money for the amount of product they took. And I begged and pleaded with my father to let me do it. I had already been selling drugs, selling cocaine, selling marijuana, selling his pills that I was stealing from him. You know, I could always finance an expedition. All I had to do was get into Dad's secret little kitty, you know, Skittles, any kind of pain pill you wanted, Percocets, Vicodin, you know, oxycodone, Oxycontin. It all depended on what he wanted that day. He had 5 milligrams. He had 40 milligrams. Like, it was crazy. You probably don't believe me when I tell it, but maybe you do because you lived it. But it was a free-for-all. Anything I wanted was there. Drugs, alcohol, there was women available. Like, it was just absurd. A child should not grow up in that manner. But so I begged my dad to let me start selling the drugs. And he said yes. He was tired of getting beat. You know, people kept taking the money. My mom was always my cheerleader, you know, so I had her advocating on my behalf with Dad. And that's how I entered the drug dealing market on a large scale, because Dad's prescription was 520 oxycodone 30s a month. It was 20 grand in pills. I would sell all of Dad's, and then I would go and buy probably 10 other scripts. And at my peak, I was probably selling 2,000 or 3,000 30s a month. And pissing every bit of the money away. You know, we'd go away. I'd take 5, 6 people away with us for a week. We'd go to the campgrounds up in Pennsylvania where there's a racetrack. We'd go to the beach. You know, we'd do all kinds of stuff. We'd just blow money around Maryland, around Cecil County. And that's really where the fuel to the fire started, was when Dad gave me the permission to sell the drugs. And at first, the money was great. I only dabbled. I didn't really get high. You know, every once in a while I'd want a buzz and I'd go and I'd get a pill, but I didn't have a daily habit. And it was only after I started selling them that habit came. If you like this video, you like where it's going so far, click that follow button. I'm going to do the part 2 to this, the follow-up that's going to continue the story kind of the way that I've done it so far, just so you have an idea of who I am, what I went through, and the stories and the messages that you can look forward to hearing. So click that follow button for me, hit the like button, leave me a comment, tell me what state you're in. That's really what I want to see, is how far are these videos going. I appreciate y'all for tuning in and watching. I hope you're getting something out of these videos, but come back, click that follow button, click that like button. I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.